What a great, amazing day. What was all the fuss about today with all the small business owners throughout North America? Well, I had the honor and privilege of being on a bunch of congressional calls with different senators. And I also was chosen as one of only 3 business owners in the US to be on a call with Mindy Kaling. It was awesome. Yay. It was so fun. We got to ask her a question. So, hi, my name is Tracy Watts-Reno, and I am the owner and founder of Beyond Common Coaching and Training Company and the founder of Lavish Color Salon. And we had all of these amazing calls with so many different policymakers asking about what we could do to make policy, what we could do to influence policymakers on not just like looking at the childcare situation as a woman's issue or a family issue, but as a critical like workforce issue. You know, so many people have been thrown into situations that have not allowed them to fully enter back into the workforce or fully operate their businesses at full capacity because of the childcare restrictions and everything going on, you know, due to COVID. So today was all about that. Some of the other topics were about how small business owners could have access to capital and how we, since we don't know when any of this is ending and when, you know, they'll kind of return to any type of business as usual, you know, it's like everything's being navigated moment to moment and day to day. So without that being, you know, taken care of, there are so many businesses that just still are not able to operate at the capacity that they once did, you know, pre-COVID. So that was a lot of the questions today. The other thing was about the PPP. It sounds like the second round of PPP money is really a lot less restrictions. It sounds like they want us to look at it like it is a grant. So apply for it, definitely put in for it. People, you know, probably need it so that you can help keep your businesses afloat. I know myself transitioning from having a brick and mortar location where we're operating a salon fully, and now we've transitioned to doing things online. I've gone full force with my coaching and training company, and I've been selling books. So, you know, there's been a lot of changes to business. I've been home. My kids are home now. I mean, very different for so many of us. Mindy Kaling was amazing though. She talked about, how having confidence has been something that she always had because she always put the work in. So that was an interesting take on from a Hollywood person that has like earned so much. And she said, I found this funny. She said she's a bit of a control freak, which is like most of us business owners. She said she was a bit of a control freak. So she's always either wrote or produced any of the shows she's been in because she didn't want to get fired. So she never wanted someone to have control over that. So I thought that was really interesting. Another thing that we spoke about was how resilient children are. You know, that's been one of the biggest takeaways from all of this is that our kids can handle anything. They're amazing. I mean, who would have ever thought that little ones, you know, preschool age could sit in front of a screen all day and actually be fine with it. It's not an ideal situation, I know, but kids are so resilient. So another thing I felt like I had in common with Mindy was she said that this whole thing made her realize how much she hates Paw Patrol. And I'm like, yeah, I've been there, right? But even though it is true, they are doing God's work because they keep our kids entertained and occupied. So that's all good. Some of the other issues were when business owners are in this place of struggle and they do accept a loan or PPP money, is it going to negatively impact their tax burden? So, so many of us have been in a situation that, yeah, we need this kind of help, but we don't want it to look at as earned income, because then it's going to put us in a situation that is not helpful when it comes time to paying, filing for taxes. And so it seems like there's a lot of new things that were written into the policies, and it's going to be much easier for business owners to apply for the different funding and really allow more access to funds, more access to resources of all sorts. The first round of money is going to be for, specifically, I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget it, but the first round of money is going to go specifically to people that are in like the CDFIs, so more of the community banks and locations that have lower income. They're going to have first access to the second round of PPP money to make sure that everybody, gets some. So know that there's a lot less of the restrictions on this money. You're allowed to use it for more than just payroll, because there, of course, have been a lot of other business expenses that have skyrocketed due to restrictions. The consensus is that even businesses that have reopened, they're working at a smaller capacity for two reasons. The restrictions have made it that they cannot hit the numbers that they once did, no matter what type of business they're in. So the restrictions are making that capacity to earn much less than the workforce. Their staff is not able to come back at full force. So, there's less earning potential there. So we're dealing with a lot of threats in the sense that what our potential for earning is shrinking massively, but the cost of doing business has gone up tremendously. And that's the thing, that even for really successful businesses that were doing amazing before COVID, it still becomes a critical issue. Is it worth it to string this along and go into more debt because you're unclear as to when it's ending? So this seems to be the case for everybody across the board. The childcare businesses were asking what the government and policymakers are going to do, because they are able to take much less kids on, and because of all of the different schools going remotely. So some of the childcare agencies that are actually funded by the government, they're getting less because their capacity is lower. And so then they're going to be letting people off, or laying people off and having to let them go, or reducing their hours. So it's kind of like a chicken and the egg thing. Like, people need access to lower cost childcare so that they can return to work, but they're not able to provide it because they're at capacity. So this just seems to be quite the struggle. And that is what a lot of people were talking about on the calls today. So it was such an honor to be able to represent small business and to bring up these critical questions and issues that so many business owners are facing. So let me know your feedback. What questions do you have? I can help answer any more questions or whatever you need. But definitely reach out to your local officials and let them know that you need help. That's another thing. They want to know how you're doing, what's happening. So definitely reach out and stay active as you advocate for your business and other small businesses in your market. Make sure that you stay active advocating for small business. So thanks so much. I appreciate you. And let me know how I can help you.
From what my aspirations were